Welcome to the Hobby Hangout. As you see, Jerry has shaved.
Yep, my bum is baby smooth now. Shame my face is still hairy as fuck.
Shame.
Is that not what you're... No, did I shave the wrong part? Oh no.
Ihr Feckers, Panzer kaputt. Yes, this video is not for the faint of heart, I'm guessing.
Ho, 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 motherfuckers.
Gary isn't in the screen, I know, but that's Jerry's cam, so he can show whatever he wants. And neither of us can make him do anything. Oh, no weird background. That's a relief. Or did you kill it before?
Kill this. Backsack and crack, says Panzer kaput. You're correct, mate. I had a friend who used to be able to plait his anal hair. It was that long. We assume. That's what we kept saying anyway, especially to any women that he was attempting to touch up in the bar. Steve will probably remember Noel.
This isn't the story I want to hear now, is it?
No, it's not. No. The man with the, how can I put it? Elastic foreskin. Used to be able to say you could stretch it over the top of a pint glass.
Oh, God. Take these pictures out of my head. Hello, Menda. You just seem to have joined the jolly round in the nick of time.
Just in the right time. Oh, you wouldn't want to miss this.
Stanley. I think I need something to drink. Sadly, no alcohol.
Oh, what a terrible shame. Don't worry, I've got plenty.
Hello, Ralph.
I asked him if he could stretch it over the top of a baby's head. I was at a QCon, actually, during the pub quiz. We got really hammered. I spent the night ripping the piss out of him, including, because he was very into schoolgirls, but he was also into quite a lot of granny porn. So I posited, and this is probably just for the British and Irish in the crowd who will know this, but I posited that his ideal date would be wee Jimmy Cranky, who was an old woman dressed like a school kid. And then we called ourselves Wee Jimmy Cranky's fan club on the pub quiz. I kept shouting "Fan Dabby Doozy" every time they called out our score until Noel left early, punching things on the way. It was great. It's a good time. Oh, great days, Eddie. Great days.
Not today anymore. Hello,
luck.
Today's running order is...
Actually, no, we can't, because
we look back on this
terrible
hellhole that has been 2020. The running order is running away.
Yeah. We've decided to throw out our tightly scripted half hour and just
half hour
and just go nuts, go wild.
Yeah, and maybe
go abstract.
Go on a rant, maybe go on a tangent, or lose track. Who knows?
We don't, certainly.
I'm lucky if I know my name if I'm getting up in the morning. Wilder than normal, possibly not. Possibly even more boring than ever because there's nothing to look and rant about. Except our memories, and as you get older, those start to fade, as I'm sure Panzer Kaput can attest.
No, Taurus, what we were going to do is we were going to service a woman called Carol, but she didn't turn up.
No, the problem
easy mistake to make.
The problem is one half arrived here and one half arrived in Ireland. It was a mess.
It's good.
Speaking of
Carol Vorderman,
has anybody noticed that the manufacturer of what's that face called again? Micro Art Studios has stopped delivering to the UK?
No, but it was only a matter of time. To be fair, some postal companies have stopped delivering to Northern Ireland while they sort Brexit out. So DPD have stopped, and another one that only really affects the south anyway. And they're going, oh, we're just hanging on to Brexit. You're going, this shouldn't affect you at all, or it should affect everyone. Nobody really knows. Nobody has a clue. It's quite good.
Yeah, it's
But
grand.
yeah, but currently there are quite a lot of impacts to postal, but that's mostly because the country shut down due to the new strain of coronavirus. So all international parcels have been stopped. Royal Mail is not collecting anything to post abroad at the moment. There's no point. You can't leave the country anyway. It's
Well,
good.
and here I am waiting for my book of mail, which technically should be in Germany already because
It,
the
you could be fine. It may have already left.
yeah. Let's hope for the best. I want my mini mail.
Mini Baby Bell.
No, mini mail. The two-headed monstrosity.
No, it's not the Mini Baby Bell then.
No, I'm not very fond on baby bells.
But it's great. I love the advertising for it.
The
Ba
what?
ba 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 baby bell. Baby bell. It's like real cheese. Try it if you please. It'll give you heart disease. No?
Have you seen the
End up on your knees.
advent
Ba ba
calendar
ba baby
of
bell.
who is he called again? Ashens?
No.
Oh, it's grand.
Should have.
They make a daily video and they film it on one day, so there's the main fun, and they show off each other's calendars, and they have toy cars, themed ones, and whoever has the better car wins that day, and the loser has to take another advent calendar, which is filled with variations of cheese.
Oh, cheese is great. As we all know from the Monty Python cheese shop sketch.
Yeah, and trouble is, one doesn't really like cheese, and there are cheese variations in it that look terrible. There was a black one, and that looked like charcoal, and judging by the face of Ashens when he bit into it, it tastes like charcoal.
Well, there's a lot to be said for charcoal. It's very stomach settling. Grimwolf's off to do some Mythic Plus and Warcraft. I remember when Warcraft was good.
Warcraft. Weird thing. Have a good one. Collect
Enjoy.
some pelts.
Kill boars in the forest.
Collect some, what was it? Mushrooms?
Shrooms? Oh, you always collect shrooms.
Yeah.
Always collect shrooms.
I've heard a very, very bad pun today, which I must now take on you. You know why most people don't like mushrooms on your pizza?
Don't know.
They don't leave mushroom for anything else.
Oh, that's particularly bad. Oh,
It's worse. Brothers,
in our defense,
Jesus, hello,
in our defense, Oriskany. I would like to point out this is quality.
Not yet. There are no pointy holes in my hands yet.
Oh, there's a good joke for you. You'll like this,
Oh.
Jim. Since you've raised the bar on this one, what is this?
I don't know, but there's it again.
It's Jesus trying to hold on to an M&M.
Oh god. That's bad. Chindits.
Drink. Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
Good times.
Jerry, what was your personal highlight of 2020 in regards of our beloved hobby?
Oh, that'd be really shitty if I was to mention that. Was that 2020? No, couldn't have been. When did I get Obi-Wan? Was that last year?
That was last year.
That was last year.
That
In
was
that case.
What was
In that case,
Spiel at Essen.
probably, without getting into the RPG side of things, because I got quite a lot of nice stuff from Free League, or Free League, as they like to be called these days. Probably Clash of Spears, which technically came out for Kickstarter backers end of last year, but I think Clash was probably the big one for me. And it won Game of the Year with War Games Illustrated's award ceremony last week, actually. So So all the Punic war that's fit to print. Really nice system. And they're planning on expanding it beyond the Punic Wars. So they've got Dark Age, they're doing Samurai, and they're even working on Fantasy as well for Clash. I really like Clash. It was nice. Beyond that, I mean, there's some kick-ass things rocking around the place in various guises. But I think Clash overall, as the sort of saga for mature gamers,
as example.
yeah, is probably the one I've gone for.
Oh,
what about yourself?
I love the bit when Ben on the XLBS went a bit under steam, going, "Let me tell you, I was the one bringing Saga to the table." I feel he was a bit annoyed.
I don't think he's annoyed. I think miffed, maybe. Let's go with miffed.
Perhaps. So, as you just mentioned, the Ben Kenobi Star Wars Legion figure, you may remember how I was a bit pissed because the new Luke Skywalker miniature was a weird shop-only version.
Yes.
There is a shop who's actually doing something good with it, in a literal sense. So they are not doing a painting contest, an army contest, or, God forbid, a tournament. No, they've chosen 4 different types of charity, and everybody who donates to any of those charities and sends in a copy of the receipt gets into a prize pool. And at the end of the year, they are going to pull one out of this prize pool, and whoever wins this figure. Which I think is a genuine nice way to give away something they're not technically really allowed to sell.
No, they can sell it.
Yeah, but how often can you do that if the manufacturer says, please don't sell, just give away?
But they didn't. This is the thing. The manufacturer went, here's some Luke Skywalkers. Do whatever you want with them. Sell them, raffle them, give them away as prizes. It's up to you. And which is why some stores have been selling them at £75, £100.
I don't know if FFG for the UK had a different vendor. I'm pretty sure that Asmodee Germany has said no selling.
Right, that's possible. Maybe Asmodee Germany are a bit more clued in than the Coke dealers that run the UK office, but they literally said you can do whatever you want, which is why there were stores in the UK, literal stores who'd got them for free, selling them at £75 upwards.
Could very much possible.
Because why not?
I just finished watching the latest Frostgrave video on Beasts of War, and I loved the laptop emplacement.
The who, what, where, the what?
Didn't you see?
No, because they're recording it the same way we were talking about staying with the XLBS that we're doing at the moment for Ben, because Ben can see. Whenever we were in the cage and Ben's on the screen, Ben can't see what we're doing because of the way it routes through to record it. So likewise, whenever I was talking to Justin about, I never seen what they were seeing or what they were doing, because it doesn't feed the video output back to Zoom for me.
You possibly haven't watched the video yet.
I haven't. I don't need to. I know what I said.
Basically, they put you in a laptop on a giant stand and put you next to Justin, and he had his headphones up with his cable going over to the laptop, which looked a bit weird.
Classy guy.
Yeah, it was fantastic. A fucking big table at that.
Yes, it was.
Seems like a lot of work.
Yeah. Especially whenever I got told 3 days beforehand. Let me say, actually, no, it was the Monday. I was told on the Monday that John wasn't doing any of it because we at the start of that we split up and it's like I'll do this, and then Dipshit will build that, and then John will paint that. So I built my own stuff, and then on the Monday I was going to John. Okay, this is how I painted it. And John was, yeah, has nobody told you yet? I'm not doing that. I've got something else I have to do now. It's like right. So on Tuesday, they were told to post it to me. Was it Monday? No, must have been Monday. I told them to post it to me. It arrived on Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night after we finished the Weekender, and Friday, I painted all of the terrain on that fucking table.
I'm guessing.
Which is why, if you look, you'll see there's no metallics on any of the barrels. None of the barrel hoops are done. Because I was going, I don't fucking have time for this.
I'm guessing if paint could talk, it would blush. I'm saying that there has been some cursing done whilst painting.
There were a couple of 2 a.m. finishes to make sure it was right, because we were meant to film on Friday, and I ended up needing another day to paint. And I was lucky that Ben, Warren, and myself were all to paint a starter set, and then Warren decided to move house. I was like, well, I'll paint the extra set then. That's not going to be a problem. I can do that relatively quickly. This was before I discovered I had all the terrain to do. And I was like, okay, you sure you can do it? Oh, yeah, it's not a problem. And then they went, you've got all the terrain. It's like, oh, fuck me. And then about 2 hours later, Justin went, oh, the gang's arrived, Ben, thanks. It's like, great, I won't be painting the other gang then. Fuck that. Brought your daughter back. She's no use to me. Hope you die soon. Oh, my God. Meg was good, but Meg is just Meg. I don't think there was actually any changes beyond the fact that they put a hardback book out instead of a lever arch file. Although I will say, off the back of Meg, PSC managing to get the license for Zeist and Corvus Belly miniatures in plastic is great. So that's good.
Don't mind me eating whatever.
No, I won't. You tell right on. You tell
Do
right.
not passion.
Did has anybody seen the upcoming revelation that is the Black Powder American Civil War from Warlord?
Was this pseudo 50mm thing?
Yeah. You say
in
pseudo
a slightly
50mm.
different scale, as I've seen.
Everything's a different scale. It's the same size as Callistra's 15s, in that they're 15 to the top of the head, which means some people will say they're too small. Other people will be spot on for. For people who use some things like musketeer miniatures, which are fucking enormous, practically 20mm, they look like little dwarfs. Yeah, but that's it. As Pete and Steve say there, 1:144, so proper.
So
actual scale rather than a millimeter size. Yeah. And the fact that people are transferring it into millimeters is what's throwing them off. But people should realize that measuring a height isn't a scale.
I always wondered where this came from, because within railway modeling and modeling itself, you always have a scale. Nobody is going to sell you a Imperial Star Destroyer 25 centimeter.
A 20, yeah, they're not going to sell you a 26 centimeter Star Destroyer. They're going to sell you a 5-inch X-Wing. Things are always scaled. At some point in the past, and I don't know why, I want to say it was probably 1/56th got transferred into 25mm, maybe as a handy shortcut. I don't know. And then after that, it just went. From that point on, people just went, yeah, fuck it.
And always there was this. How do you measure it? One measures from feet to eye line, and the next one measures from feet to top of the head.
Top of the head.
Where's the sense in that?
Just depends on the company.
Yeah.
And that way we get scale creep and weirdness.
Yeah, this is how we end up
I
with
thought,
Primaris.
I'm pretty sure 1/72 was 20 mil. 1/76 is 20 mil. Oh, there you go.
I remember
Okay.
Terrain Tutor doing a very exhaustive video on scaling, and the first thing he mentioned, okay, people, I know this is going to piss you off. Stay calm. I'm going to make some mathematical equations here. Great. And he really tried to stay within reason without judging, and oh god, no. You can't have that. Nope.
Yeah.
So, you said your highlight of 2020 was Clash of Spears.
Yeah.
I, for the life of me, cannot find a highlight.
No, not even one.
No.
That's terrible.
I think the biggest highlight, as such, was the amount of energy I could draw from the disaster that was HeroQuest. Somehow that fueled me for weeks. I don't know why.
It's like a pressure release. Allows you to vent.
Possibly it was. I genuinely felt alive at that point. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And speaking of HeroQuest,
Here's positive.
The third little nobbling I need, and now there's just one left I need, and then the box is nearly completed. Manda's highlight was getting a 3D printer. Those are magic boxes of various dubious designs, doing strange things. But I see what you do with it, and I think you do good. Like not like other people doing terrible stuff and then leaving it on the bench, going to the next.
Thankfully, I'm just ignoring 3D printing. I have no interest in it whatsoever.
I'm not going to say you're a liar, but you're a patron of a certain gold coiny.
Yeah, but that's just because I like Javeriahjaved, and I will at no point will I ever print any of those out. I haven't even downloaded all of them. Some of the earlier stuff I haven't downloaded, so that's gone. Because if you didn't download at the time, it's gone now.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, and he has started his bloody Kickstarter. He has. Or has that already ended? Am I safe again?
No, you're not safe. Not for a couple of days yet. Have you seen the Snow Trooper that Boris has done as a stretch goal with the spear? It's quite nice.
Is that in the Kickstarter too?
I think Boris just put it up on his face page. I don't know if it's made it to the Kickstarter yet, although it might be on the Kickstarter as an update. But it's a cross between a sort of a Viking with like the chainmail up to the eye line, and then the helmet. So you've got the veil, which looks like a stormtrooper or snow trooper because they have that, and then like a 3/4 length sort of furry coat thing going on in the spear. It's good. It's nice.
This is. I'm going to regret this. I'm going to look up Kickstarter now and see how things are going. And let's see. Save projects. Was I? Yes, I was so stupid to save this project. 65 hours to go. Only 2,788% funded. Yes, I think he has added the. Or is it?
Has he? I don't know.
No, that's the.
Oh, you don't want to do that. Oh, nobody wants that. Somebody,
yes,
one of the first backers asked if the Dark Paladin, who's essentially Vader. See how Snow Trooper is he? Vader has got like flames in one of his hands. And in the comment section, one of the first backers goes, "Can you get the hand without it?" And the response was, "No, it's sculpted on there." So he cancelled his pledge. They're going, "You soppy fuck," because he doesn't want the flame in his hand. And all I could think of was, "Fuck off back to GW, you cockwomble." I'm sure they've got some flameless hands that you can fucking play with. Because in the grand scheme of things, that's resin. If you don't want that flame in that hand,
you should cut it off.
2 seconds with a fucking knife will remove it.
And it's not around the hand, it's literally in the palm of the hand.
It's in the so the fingers and all are still intact and detailed. You don't have to worry about any of it. Fuck me.
Oh god, some people are just
oh yeah. Total bell end.
So now we have a stretch goal snowtrooper.
I think they're also doing possibly variant of the regular stormtroopers as well. I can't quite remember.
It's not yet on the project, and I'm pretty sure when the last 48 hours bell chimes in, I'm going to look at this again.
Oh no, you definitely
options.
should. No, none of that. I accidentally backed this earlier.
Accidentally.
I fell. In my defense, I was left unsupervised.
There is a very, very nice German word creation for clicking the mouse button totally intentionally. Oh, you're gone.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
I know where I am. Don't worry.
And it's called Mausgerutscht, which is basically just the word slipped, ausgerutscht, with an M before, making it mouse for the computer mice. So you slipped with your computer mice. Mausgerutscht.
Nice. It's good. It's a good term.
Originated from some political scandals some years back when I can't even remember what exactly happened, but some weird emails went out, and the politician then said, "Oh, I slipped with my mice." Yeah, sure.
Hey, isn't that what happened with what do you call him? Oh, his father killed JFK. He's a bearded twat. Jim will know.
Because he's a bearded twat?
No, because he's a Republican senator in the US. His father didn't really kill JFK, but Trump said it, and then he followed him around like a puppy dog, as opposed to going, "Fuck you, Donald. You called my wife ugly and you said my father was an assassin. I'll tell you what, you can suck my plums before I back you." But he didn't. He just caved like a bitch. Anyway.
I like the overall sculpt of these little goblins you are showing off, but I can't really make friends with the nose for some reason.
I love nose.
They annoy me.
Hang on 1 second. I'll throw it right that way. Look at that. Look at that snores. It's a fucking amazing snores.
You know why they annoy
You
me
call
so
it
much?
big nose.
I would paint them pink.
Yeah, fucking go nuts. I mean, the noses look great.
Yes,
but
penis nose, absolutely.
Yeah.
Give him some pubic hair around the face and a pseudo beard, and you got your dick head.
But I couldn't not back it when I seen, because since that set, there's been like a He-Man, Tim Cruise. That's the cunt. Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is his name. You were close with Tim. I forgive you for that. Can't remember where I was going with the Ted Cruz bit. I assume I was going to say something witty and possibly obscene.
Yeah,
because that would be.
Drop from it. That's a nice idea, Manda. Why don't you do that? And then put him next to Banana Man.
But after seeing the He-Man figure they've done, and then seeing they've done a really nice Wyvern, and then that engineer with the welding mask, they've done like a massive mechanical mech warrior stomper thing with his sticking out the top of it. I was like, well, fuck it. I've got the set that they sent me to review, so you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and
give you more monies
and just get all the stuff that I haven't.
Well, I really loved what you pointed out in your review with the Assassin's Creed dude on the little doghouse.
On the doghouse.
It's just
class.
Too cute. The first thing that sprang to my mind was, it's the wrong dog. There needs to be a Snoopy under there with a big honking nose.
That would work. You can always drill out and make your own.
Yeah, maybe put some little PVC figurine next to it with a Woodstock going all.
Wacky fun. I honestly can't remember what I was going to say about Ted.
I don't even know where we were heading at that point.
No, I've no idea. I'll watch this back tomorrow, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, that would make sense if I said that about Ted Cruz.
Probably somebody is screaming at the screen right now, and we are not hearing, and we are not even reading chat.
Wouldn't make a difference.
No, not really. And for the record, we usually don't do politics too much.
No.
Except
whatever it was had nothing to do with politics, but it was going to be something else. It'll come to me, or it won't. As my mother would say, if you can't remember, it must have been a lie.
Or it wasn't important, as my mother said.
Oh, no. No, it was definitely important. It just may not have been true.
HeroQuest is not political Dutch.
Don't worry, we can move away from HeroQuest now. We've got the fun and games that is He-Man.
Oh, yeah.
2 flavors of He-Man, depending whether you're in the US or Europe. One
exclusively for Europe, one exclusively for America.
Yeah, well, I don't know who covers. I think it might be rest of the world. So I think it may be Europe and then rest of the world. And again, it's like Doctor Who. It just happens that they both got licensed from Mattel at similar times, but covering different geographic areas.
Oh, we just were on
Weirdly,
yes.
Archon wanted us to talk about it fucking months ago, and then Cool Mini or Not, as I shall call them, got the license for America, and Archon went, hold on, we're going to talk to them and see if we can do something in collaboration so we can cover all the world together, both of us. And Cool Mini or Not knocked them back. So I was like, oh, fuck it. Go ahead and we'll do our own then.
I've received a little parcel.
Yes?
You may recognize the logo.
Ooh, bottles. I do recognize it.
I got Kickstarter pledge.
Awesome.
I don't know how they did it, but I think they turned some screws to make their stuff happening.
I got a Goblin airship for Moonstone.
There it is.
Nice.
Yes.
Ideal for doing any of your Star Warsy stuff.
Yeah, I'm still thinking on if I should paint these historically correct or go nuts.
Oh, go nuts. You're young ones.
Yeah, oh, that looking so nice. So nice.
It's very round.
It smells so weird.
How you confuse an Irishman? Put him in a round house and tell him to go and stand in the corner. Hey. Put 3 shovels against the wall, tell him to take his pick.
So it seems like Irish jokes are more or less the same like the jokes we around here tell for East Frisians.
Yeah, well, Irishman jokes I think are more an English type of thing. When you get into Ireland, we mostly tell them about either Kerry or Cavan, depending on how you're feeling. So it's like, how do you confuse a Cavan man, or how do you spot a Cavan submarine? It's the one with the sunroof, you know, with the latest invention out of Kerry, a solar-powered torch, that type of thing. So,
yeah,
depends.
Everybody
always needs. There's always got to be somebody you can, punch down.
Somewhere I have a little book from way back when, a little book of jokes for children.
Mm-hmm.
On the cover it reads, "How do you keep a stupid person occupied? Please turn book." And on the back of the book it says, "How do you keep a stupid person occupied? Please turn book."
It's handed to a child.
So this is why my sense of humor is what it is.
Well, it's one way of doing it.
Bad influence right from the beginning.
She-Ra is coming for the Archon version of He-Man.
Yeah, I think I saw the announcement not so long ago.
Mm.
After He-Man Skeletor!
Joke's on you. I'm into that shit. You know what the weird thing is? I know She-Ra was on TV, and theoretically it was more or less just He-Man again. But I'm damned if I can remember, did she actually have any companions? Because He-Man had a whole pantheon of, Many Faces and Ram Jam and all sorts.
Yes, she had.
Did she?
Yeah.
Were any of them interesting?
The thing is,
I can't remember one of them.
They shared a lot of them.
Oh, right. That's very dull.
Because she was the princess of Eternia, so basically his sister. It's literally the same universe and planet. But she didn't had a battle.
Did they go full House Targaryen?
No, I don't think so.
No, just checking. It's a way to solidify their ties to the throne. Marry your sister, He-Man.
I don't think children's TV works that way.
Probably does. Probably. Certainly did in England in the 70s and 80s. Maybe not in front of the camera, but behind the camera.
What happens behind the camera stays behind the camera. Until you're dead and somebody digs up your old files, and then all of a sudden a nation's beloved hero gets thrown under the bus.
Well, it's a big bus. Need to be a big bus. It's the way to do it. So I was thinking, and I don't know how interested people would be, but when we're hooking through for the Hobby Hangout, we're always going through the project system. And I was thinking possibly next year. What
Jerry means is he's going through the project system and I leech off him.
Yeah, that too. But there's an awful lot of good stuff out there that isn't on the OTT site. I mean, there's about a half a dozen or so pages that I follow that are generic miniature or historical stuff, or maybe specific things like Kings of War related things. And there's some stunning bits and pieces on those that, never get seen because they're not on OTT and don't do projects, and therefore we ignore them. So I was wondering about possibly delving into some of that in the new year.
We could do this probably, because this is the unofficial Hobby Hangout. I don't even use the old designs anymore, so...
Good. Were there old designs?
Yeah, the first few shows I shamelessly nicked the templates that were made for the Star Wars weekend.
For the Legion. Yeah, I remember that.
And after a while, I thought, I want something new.
Yeah, people like that, Jim. There are some. We touched on a few blogs a while ago whenever we were just going through sites I think people should be looking at. But even beyond that, there's a whole fucking wealth of hobby out there.
And we're not talking about Facebook groups.
No, not if I can possibly avoid Facebook. Simply because, I follow pages on it. Some of it spams through very quickly. But
speaking of different sites, have you seen the news that FFG is shutting down its forums?
Really?
Yes.
Were they raided by the DEA?
I don't know, but coming next year, the forums will be going away.
Oh well, what a crying shame, huh? It's a tragedy.
And all of a sudden, peoples are rallying, flashing links left, right, and center. You can find us here. Yeah, and 80% is Facebook page groups. Not going down that hole again. I'm very happy that I left that and Twitter more or less far behind.
The problem I have with face page groups is once you've seen something on it, you're never fucking seeing that again.
Nor do you have any chance to find it.
Yeah, whereas at least with forums or blogs, you can go to the page and find it.
Yeah, and if you remember who posted it originally, you can go via the meaning of I take this user, but in any Facebook group you click on show me all things that this user has done, and you get so much stuff. It's
Right. Is that something you can do? Wow. Excuse me.
yes.
I'm just going to Facebook to see, clicking on things. How do we do that? Show me everything now. That's copying his name. How do I?
I don't know if this is possible on every site, but at least some time ago it was possible within groups.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, the person I clicked on had just posted, so Tony Allen has gotten us the rules for SPQR. Persian picks to follow soon. I was thinking, it's Tony Allen, he hit you. Is that what he does? Tony Allen's fucking, I've wasted my money on this pest, therefore I'm going to get all of you guys into it.
Oh, Oriskany Jim got plagiarized on face page. Tell us more.
Tatty bye, Amanda.
Bye, Amanda. See you next week. Or possibly the week after that. Or when we're coming back again.
Terrible bastards.
Jim, did somebody impose as you, or is it just nicking your images with only nicking being bad enough? Well, this nougat is really good, but very soft.
Oh, tell me about it.
Oh, very soft.
I got a box of those the other day.
Those are good too.
In fact, yesterday, and then I ate them all. Well, I ate half yesterday and then the other half today in a toffee fueled rampage. I think it's fair to say. But they are fucking amazing.
Yes,
and once you
are.
open it, you just can't stop. In fact, if they hadn't made them in two separate sealed trays, I probably just would have had the entire thing yesterday by itself. So.
They did this because the single tray is the original packaging.
Yes, the small one. Because they double up. I'm assuming it's for Christmas one that they've doubled up on.
Oh, no,
normally
that's a regular thing you can get here now. You can either get the single one or
the single
one.
or double. Oh, I'm so glad I got the double. Double the tough FE. Yes. Double the fun.
And it's one
yes,
of those...
I was going to say that actually.
What? Crater tray?
No, Steve. He did this. Don't call me Spaniard, call me Iberian type of thing, which I fucking totally necked because that was just great. I was so amused. Based on Gladiator, whenever he does the whole call me Spaniard, but Spain doesn't exist at that stage.
But as we were speaking about toffee, that's one thing I'm happy about, that my daughter doesn't like caramel. So I don't need to share.
You don't have to share. That's good. There may or may not be a big packet of licorice coming for me. I don't know. It may not arrive before Brexit. I'll probably have to spend like fucking 50 quid to get it or some shite.
Yeah, I'm currently really regretting not having sent any medicinal Haribos before, because if nothing gets over there now...
Oh no, you're fucked now. I wouldn't worry. Fuckity fucked.
Maybe I need to allocate some resources to a Gustav and shoot something over the borders.
Oh, that would work.
Or you remember the...
It may not land in Ireland.
The resin bombers
at Liverpool
that were flying over Berlin back in the day, delivering chocolate. We now need something like that. Drone delivery to Ireland and Northern Ireland for sweets.
Send me sweets, you fucks. Is that too much to ask? I don't think so.
Toros, if you're not sure if that's chocolate raisins, you may need to rethink. Do you have any rabbits in your house?
I was going to say is the Nesquik bunny been fucking lurking in the background? A whole cereal based on rabbit shit.
Yeah, and it took me a long time to realize the connections there.
It's not right. I know right. That's not right.
I'm pretty sure somebody in the product management noticed it, laughed his ass off, and said, "Let's see how long it takes them to realize they're selling rabbit shit." Apparently, they didn't realize. Yeah. So, we had our highlights. What was your biggest disappointment gaming-wise?
Um,
What product,
no.
brand, or game, aside from FFG and GW?
Oh, you tease you. Who really fucked me off during? Well, it's difficult to say. I don't think anybody really fucked me off during the year. Beyond those two, that I'm not allowed to pick apparently.
Well, that's too low-hanging fruit.
No, that is true. Was there anything I was looking forward to, and then when it finally arrived, it was like, well, that's balls. I think probably my biggest issue with non-GW, non-FFG, because we know they're cocks, is well, you won't be able to see it because it's behind the cock and the whamster. But behind the cock and the whamster is my half-meter of Flames of War. And every time they release a new edition, the first thing that Battlefront do is take all the old edition stuff off sale. So even though you could buy late war Germans, then they go, we're not doing late war yet, we're doing mid-war, so you can't buy any of the late war stuff. And so they literally take stuff off sale, and then they'll release it when they release the books for the new edition. So the stuff exists, you just can't get it unless you can find a shop. Now, in the grand scheme of things, do I need any more Germans? No. But it's for those times whenever you're going, oh, I really want such and such, and then you go, oh, I can't get it yet because they haven't released that book because they're only doing Normandy again, and it'll be a fucking age before they get to doing the Eastern Front or doing, the road to Berlin. So I'm never going to get Waffenträger. Fuck them.
Where is this sense of that?
No, they always do it. This is fourth edition, so they've done it three times now. Yeah, and I don't know. I do know why. It's because they don't want people going. If people can buy the stuff and they're still playing third edition, then they've got no incentive to move to fourth. Whereas if you can't buy a Waffenträger, for example, until they release the book, The Defense of Berlin, then that encourages you to get fourth edition and play whatever it happens to be until that comes out again, and then it plods along in that iteration. Now, this time round they have been replacing some stuff. I see they've finally done plastic Hetzers. Hetzers going to Hetz, and a few other plastic kits. So they are replacing resin with plastic. But it's always a pain in the backside whenever they do it. Whenever they go, oh, I'm just going to dump these things back in Malaysia for a while, and we'll get to them when we get to them. Okay.
Well, I can see from a business standpoint that it makes some sense, but on the other hand, I'm pretty sure that it makes some people furious.
Yeah, well, like I say, it doesn't affect me so much with my Germans because I've got. Well, I had 12,000 points. I was Grandpa Home to Kill Some Vampires. I've got about 12,000 points of Germans in third edition. So I have no idea what that is. 15 points in fourth edition or something because they reduced all the points values to make life easier adding up, I suppose. I don't know.
Well,
but
obviously,
British and Americans and the like, which I've only half started.
Well, obviously, or apparently, Jim's biggest disappointment was no Historicon in 2020, and Toro's biggest disappointment was buying plastic figures. Well, to each his own.
Yeah, I would have loved to get back to Historicon, or indeed any convention. I think the last convention that anybody's seen was like CanCon in Australia last year. They were like I think they have theirs in January before everything shut down, and they're currently in a position in Australia where they're getting ready for the next big January CanCon type thing, and then I imagine they'll shut down again fuck knows what the rest of us are going to be like. I think everything's certainly January, February is a washout.
Yeah.
I imagine it'll be through to June at least.
The last year's or 2020's last convention in Germany was Taktika, which somehow managed to get by just before everything went to hell, and it's already for some time now cancelled for 2021 because they said we need so much time in advance and we know it won't be happening in February. We are making 2022 our goal, which is probably the most honest thing you can do at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a bit of a balls. This whole thing, it's been a bit of a balls.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I say that the chat should guess which my biggest disappointment was this year, we'll get a 100% reply rate with correct answers. But that's just my guess. Because, yeah.
I think somebody's already mentioned it.
Yeah.
Dutch does, right at the top there.
Hasbro, really? Was that really necessary?
No.
Couldn't you have just done a worldwide release like any decent company would have done?
As Rip Torn famously said, is it necessary that I drink my own urine? No. But it's sterile. I like the taste. So, was it necessary that they make it North America only? No. Yeah.
And it would leave such a sour taste in my mouth if they bloody bastards wouldn't have gone after the fact and collaborated with some markets just to raise numbers.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
it's not even markets. I think it's like specifically shops. It's like one shop in Australia and one shop in England.
Yeah, it's... And even with those, they barely crawled over the 3 million mark.
What's that? That's 3 million's about what Cool Mini not expect to get from another rehashed version of Zombicide. Is that how it goes?
I think that's more or less their low estimate for any Kickstarter they currently do. Because too big to fail.
Too fat to fly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dutch, I'm agreeing. Hasbro could have made so much money on Hero Quest if they simply would have re-released it.
Spent a whole year painting the 17th century Spanish. A battle over a hat. Did the man from Del Monte lose his hat? Was that what it was going to be, Pete? I'm intrigued. Oh, speaking of intriguing, Wargames Atlantic previewed their painted lizard men today, and it was lizard man running down like some sticks and stuff in the forest, and then on the very far left was one Indian mutiny British soldier. Stop doing this, you cats.
Well, why should they? It amuses them.
Because I don't want to do the Indian mutiny. Although, I did say if they're going to do the Indian mutiny, then Sergeant McCabe better fucking be there. Rocking his flag.
His flag.
Flags. That's how you know he's an Irish fucking sergeant. He's got a flag. He's a big bastard. We might paint him.
That's not 28mm, is it?
No, it's not 28mm. That's what I was saying. I was trying to get the cunts at Wargames Illustrated to do him for their miniatures, or their giants in miniature. Going, he's fucking famous. Give me a fucking... You've not done Indian Mutiny yet, you cunts. Give me a flag bearing McCabe. Go on, you fucks. They never responded. I assume it's because I didn't swear enough at them. They obviously felt I was a... They obviously felt I was a man who could be ignored. I wasn't a threat to them. Fucking show you, Wargames Illustrated, you bastards.
You need to
send you a coffee jar
game.
bomb, you pricks. This is quite good. This is Stormtrooper miniatures. And Stormtrooper miniatures send you get 2 little bits of paper. One little bit of paper is, here's what flag that he actually waved about. looks like. That's it, glued to a wall somewhere. And it follows up, and then you get a little piece of paper going, here's how you should paint them. He has this, he has that, his facings were this, his trousers were this, blah, blah, blah. And it finishes with the line, Sergeant McCabe, with a space and a small c. This is not how you spell McCabe. Won a VC for his actions at Sabroon. No, he didn't. The only reason I know that is because the only reason I know McCabe existed was because there was a article entitled The McCabe Who Should Have Won a VC. But they didn't give them out posthumously at that stage. So it's quite nice that a company has gone to the trouble of having that figure sculpted, because it's a fairly famous action anyway. Potentially they got sculpted because they thought he was a VC winner. He wasn't. But I want to have one, 28mm.
Well, people make mistakes.
How was the how were the in-star paints? Oh no, plenty of people got the VC in the Indian Mutiny. In fact, 2 cunts who went out with McCabe to spike the guns at Lucknow got it. And if he'd survived, they said he would have got it because he was the one who led the sallies forth from the... in fact, he led multiple sallies forth to spike the guns on multiple occasions. He's a bit of a nutter.
Seems to be a trait with a name.
No, VC was not a posthumous commendation until after the Indian Mutiny. You had to be alive when you won it. So you couldn't get it posthumously. They changed that. I picked up matte varnish recently, which is Vallejo's matte varnish for their Mecha airbrush range. And by fuck, that's matte. That's matter than their regular stuff.
Is that possible?
Yeah, it is. Kind of sucks the light out of the room. It's good. I think the VC these days is probably right up there with the Dead Body. But because I don't know whether the Medal of Honor was always, it could be awarded at any time for gallantry, whether it was posthumous or not, whereas the VC started not. You had to be alive to get it. That is a terrible fuck. Can you hear that horn?
I heard something, yeah.
It plays that tune that the granddad plays in Lost Boys. Except it's a smart car, so it's like this big. You can go and push it over onto its fucking roof if you can be, it's just very sad. Anyway.
So he's driving along the road alone by himself, and the compressor for the horn is on the next seat to him.
Probably.
Or the car gets slower while he's horning.
LOU, they talked about potentially issuing one to him and then didn't. But he's not related, so well, he is related at some point because he's a McCabe. There's not that many of us. Well, there are that many of us now. There wasn't that many of us then. But there's a thing, I can't remember what regiment he was in, 32nd? He was in 2 because he was in the first regiment. He got gazetted up to captain after his heroics at Sabrin in 1846, and it's not in this. It's in. I have his biography, which was written by an officer in his battalion, and it's like 20 pages long. It cost me a fucking fortune. Well, weird little book that it is. Anyway,
would be weird if he'd written that himself, would it?
It would have been his autobiography then. The first regiment went back home, and he transferred across to the second, or the first battalion went back up. He transferred to the second battalion to stay on fighting. Clearly liked the punch up. Anyway, yeah. So he's known in whatever regiment. It still exists to this day. So it hasn't been merged away to nothing. But they have a day where they call it the Sabroon Sergeant Day, and the highest ranking colour sergeant in the regiment carries the flag that he carried over the ramparts and is allowed in the officers' mess for the day. So he's still remembered through that. So it was a fairly big... I must tell you what regiment was in this. 31st. So he was in the 1st and 2nd Battalion of the 31st.
I'm suddenly having a very bad thought. I just realized that my latest OTT prize is possibly not on its way.
I don't know. I told them you won it ages ago. However, none of the guys in the shop respond to anything I say. So I've said a couple of times, like, this person's won this person's won that. Have you sent that yet? So I can update the prize claim center just so it doesn't annoy me. Because the only reason I look after the prize claim center is it was annoying me how long it was taking Justin to respond to people. It was grating on my nerves, so I just started doing it, and nobody mentioned.
Yeah, it's a weird system, especially with the automated greeting by Warren.
I'm going to say no, Taurus, because it specifically said that he was going to win it. Well, don't know when Sabroon was. 1846. Maybe it was. VC started in Crimea. I would have to dig out the book in question to see exactly how it breaks down.
Well, we can save that for a...
No, I won't.
A history-infused session of sorts.
Much easier. The Indian Mutiny was 57. Crimean War was before that. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, he was gazetted for the Battle of Sabroon, but he would have been nominated for the Victoria Cross for the defence of Lucknow in the Indian Mutiny.
Oh, Lorna, don't feel too bad for not painting your conquest box super fast. There is a Indomitus box with primed Necrons sitting, waiting.
It was probably a mistake that you got it so quickly, Lorna, because, like I say, they don't often do anything whenever I tell them.
Maybe it was lubed.
It might be Tom, who is capable and competent and listens whenever somebody goes, can you send this to this person? Tom will do that thing.
Oh, Panzerkabut is enlightening us with knowledge. After his gallantry at Zabroan, Sergeant McCabe was awarded a commission in the 18th Royal Irish Regiment and with him went to Hong Kong, taking part in April 1847 in a short campaign to protect British factories at Canton. After returning to India in April 1849, McCabe transferred on promotion to lieutenant to the 32nd Regiment, now remembered as the Duke of Cornwall's Light Infantry.
Tom outranks me, Lorna. Tom doesn't get put on prizes. Dutch, that would have been a cavalry unit, not infantry, for the charge of the Light Brigade.
Is there some sort of ranking still at OTT?
I imagine there is.
Of sorts.
Yeah. I think it goes like Warren, Lloyd, Tom, Justin, John, me, Shay.
For some odd reason, YouTube, the algorithm seems to have a little hiccup. in the last 3 weeks, I've got videos put into my feed as a you might want to watch these, and those
Ooh.
were all Beast of War videos from 6 years ago or older.
Wow.
Really old stuff, which is kind of funny if you look at them and you see a Justin with no hair and no beard, or a long-haired Sam.
That's true. They are. It's frightening when you see any of them. Shay's the wee lad who works part-time in the store. Oh, aye, we're all just Wayland employees now, but I don't know whether or not there's still a pecking order. I assume there is, you know.
Possibly.
I'll let you know. I'll try and tell Warren to do something, and I'll let you know how it works.
Warren, can you give me more work? Yes, of course I can.
Shay's a teenager who's still at school. I'm fairly certain he's not the Wayland Games liaison.
Yeah, Lana, who's that person who's only a little overweight? Time sure took its toll on everybody of us.
Certainly did. Well, fuck. It mostly took its toll on me this year.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year I was... let's put it this way. I had trouble getting my trousers to close. And I think that's one of the positives from COVID-19.
Is that a positive?
No, hear me out. Because for the last 3 or 4 months, stress has been building up so much that I didn't stop eating, but I lost appetite. So I'm eating less, and I'm not snacking as much. And today I realized I could close my belt 1 notch closer.
You lucky bastard. Lucky bastard.
Or maybe it's the simple fact because we haven't had any parties and I couldn't indulge myself in alcohol that much.
Right, you need parties for those.
Because I usually don't drink at home for sheer reason of not feeling like it.
I'm excuse me, COVID. Yeah, I refuse to weigh myself to find out just how fat I've got.
I try to weigh myself. We've got 4 scales in this household, and none of them work.
Well, mine work. I just refuse to.
Because
I was overweight at the start of the year before lockdown kicked in.
Oh, God.
And it's just got worse from there.
That's the best motivation not to step on anything. I every time I see scales and I try to step on them, I'm thinking about this old Garfield comics when he's got the talking scale.
1 at a time, please.
Yeah.
Things like that, yeah.
This scale is not rated for aircraft carriers. Yeah,
God bless him.
Some things you never forget.
Oh, ClashCon. We hardly knew you. Maybe next year.
Maybe UK Games Expo next year?
It's possible.
Well, if this new strain of COVID really is faster spreading, we should be through with this quite quickly. Let's
Who
look
knows?
That way.
Who knows? Try and burn it out. As long as it's fucked off out of my life before June. I've Pearl Jam concerts to go to in June.
Would be nice if they are not getting pushed again.
Yes, yeah, it would. It'd be fucking great.
Oh, for everybody who needs some kind of a different podcast, there's an official Motorhead podcast where a interviewer talks to people from the early days of Motorhead, joining them in their quest to stardom, and there are some really nice stories coming out of those.
Right.
Like when they met.
Did they talk to the members of Hawkwind then?
No.
And they all go, we hated him. We hated him so much.
No, I think those are
glad he's dead.
Left out on purpose.
Nick went round and shat on his grave. No.
No, but stories like when they first the first meeting with somebody from a record company, and Lemmy makes him drink some weird alcohol and taking a line before showing him the record.
Nice. It's good.
You're not getting in here until you do a line, some beer and vodka.
That's like a friend of mine went to study law at Cambridge, and then he won a article writing competition for Krang magazine.
Kerrang!
And just started writing for Krang. And when they do the Krang Awards, every journalist is allocated a band or singer to look after. So Sam showed up at the Krang Awards in a t-shirt, jeans, and they were going, for fuck's sake, wear a jacket, send him away. And he went and stopped at the closest charity shop and bought like some shitty black jacket and came back with that over his metal t-shirt. I don't know who he was with, but him and the lead singer proceeded to drink so much Jägermeister because it's all free. The things got very, very messy, and I don't know if an ambulance was called, but after that, journalists were forbidden from drinking at the Krang Awards. And the
All it
editor
takes is one bad apple.
the editor at the time was also from Northern Ireland. And so him and Sam going like a house on fire. It's like, you can't do that. It's like, well, apparently he can.
Well, Taurus, the original members of Motorhead are all gone now.
There's still a couple of the whippersnappers kicking around. The ones that Lemmy toured with the last couple of years.
Yeah, but the original members are long since gone. Have you ever seen the nice comic with where Lemmy gets up to heaven and meets what's his face?
God.
No. I want to say Billy Idol, but it's not Billy Idol. Another recently deceased musician. Major Tom.
David Bowie.
David Bowie, yeah.
He talks in the most peculiar of ways.
Where he comes up, so Lemmy gets up, dressed in this angel's clothing, only having his hat on, and David greets him with the words, "Oh, if you don't like the clothing, you don't like the selection at the bar," and he's only having a cup of tea in hand.
Good old David.
Yeah.
Thin
They
white
don't
joke.
make music anymore. That's good. That's my point.
No, that's true.
And if there's
They may occasionally make music that's good, but there are so many terrible tea drinkers and vegans out there. You're not going to hear any of the mad stories so much anymore. You're not going to be looking at fucking Rolling Stones and wondering how Keith Richards is still alive.
He's still alive because if you smoke a cigarette, you're taking off 6 minutes of your life, and God gives it to him.
He gives it to Keith, yeah. I'm beginning to worry what sort of a future planet we're going to leave for Keith Richards. We're all going to have to start fucking recycling. Keith's going to be up to his balls in
ruler of the
plastic.
roach-infested planet. And Uriskini, Jägermeister isn't a cruel mistress. You just need to know how to take her.
Yes.
It's small shots, and they need to be ice cold.
You know where they got the logo for Jägermeister from, don't you?
I'm not sure.
You should Google the logo.
I know it's it looks like a hunting trophy. So I've got a lot of pictures here.
Right, just pull one up.
There we are.
Okay, so it's read from inside to outside, and it's what you say the following morning. Oh, dear God. Circle, dear.
That only works in English.
Yeah, feel free to still, tell people.
Well, you know the German slang term for Jägermeister?
No.
It's Hörner whiskey, horn whiskey,
Nice. Nice.
which isn't accurate at all, but sounds nice, and also counts for any cheap knockoffs from your local Penny, Aldi, Lidl, or what you have with their homemade.
You get antifreeze, you add a bit of green washing up liquid, like Fairy, and there you have Jägermeister.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, it's not something I would go near if I can possibly avoid it.
Southern Comfort Black Label have a long ago come to a very cozy understanding.
I'm having a look, Steve, because you've said that before, that there isn't a Goblin King, and there is a Goblin King. I'm trying to remember who does it.
Wasn't there a figure set for the board game?
Yeah, but real sculpts by proper people. It's not that, because it wasn't a terrible 3D printed version.
Google it.
Yeah, but the problem is you can't Google Goblin King because it's not listed as Goblin King. It's not listed as Jarlath either, because both of those would fuck them on the copyright.
Very much so, yeah. Maybe it's David Bowie.
No.
Let's see.
Here we go. I do that, and then I go chat. How do we chat on Skype? Is that even a thing anymore?
Somewhere.
Fuck me, Skype. Be less shit. I can see where everybody uses Zoom. You've been the only fucking show in town for like 20 years, and the minute there's a pandemic, nobody's used you. That should tell you something, you half-assed tit goblins, you. Oh, actually, apparently it is the Goblin King. Weird. Oh my Christ. Oh, here we go. Fan chat. Fuck me. Huh? That wasn't easy. There we go. The pleasant tale of sexual awakening.
Goblin King Mini Bowie pre-supported.
Sure. Oh, we're going to have to move us, because otherwise they can't see the bulge. Oh, that's better. There you go. There's the bulge. Ah. Look at the bulge.
Balls in his hand. Bulge in his pants.
Look at my bulge, you fucks. Now I'm going to eat a peach in front of you. All about the sex. That's what that film was. All about the sex.
Yeah.
It's like Alice in Wonderland, a charming tale of childhood paedophilia. Huh?
When I grew older, there were some things I thought about that movie that were, maybe this wasn't meant as I always thought it was meant. Maybe they had some idea on it. Or maybe it's just my dirty mind and...
No, I'm fairly certain it is a tale of sexual awakening.
Well, what's
because after the whole, Dance with the Goblin King, and it's all, faster, panting, breathless, and then, sits down at the end and say, oh, well, that was a crashing disappointment. There's a peach filled with maggots. Oh, the crashing lows, thunderous highs of sex.
But where is this stinking pit then? The eternal stench.
Say nothing. I didn't say anything, Governor. You didn't say me right. River Horse technically did do miniatures, but they're board game pieces, so they're not scaled to anything in particular.
Yeah, but it's
whereas
like,
28
for most collectors, just having something to paint and put up on the wall. She has pictures of Bowie on her mirror and at the start doesn't recognize him. Well, because it's not Bowie. It's the Goblin King.
Huh?
You silly man.
I
Don't ruin movies with the logic.
I can't remember whether not Justin, Warren was saying that the kids had never seen Dark Crystal or something. So it's like, you know what? Here's my copy of, it was a double DVD, Labyrinth and the Dark Crystal. It's like a 20th or 25th anniversary box set or something like that. It's like, there you go. Fucking just have it. He showed it to the kids. I left it in. I think Lloyd snaffled it to show to his missus because she had never seen them, having grown up in, behind the Iron Curtain in Poland. So I don't know if the kids ever got to see any of those, or if they just got to Lloyd's house and then never left.
Those are beautiful pictures. At least I think so. I love them.
I never got around to watching the TV because it is a remake. It's not even a sequel. It's just
a prequel.
Is it a prequel?
It's a prequel. It's the story on how the Skeksis went evil and tried to conquer the planet. It's a really good story, actually. I got through the first 6 episodes or so before I failed to find time to watch it together with my daughter, and I didn't want to go on that journey alone because she loved it too.
I must have a look at some stage then.
And I would say it's more grown up than the movie, actually. And it's glorious animations with puppets.
Yeah.
None of this CGI stuff.
CGI is the worst. Just the worst.
Never seen Dark Crystal or Labyrinth.
Right. You should. They're very good.
Yeah. Even if you're not a fan of fantasy, those are really well-made movies. And the puppeteering is great.
Jim Henson Workshop, Yeah.
If you love any goblins, you need to see, or trolls or orcs, you need to see Labyrinth, let alone for the city in the center of the labyrinth.
Apparently Willow's getting a reboot sequel.
A sequel series, mini-series, if I remember correctly.
That'll be interesting, because I read the George Lucas inspired sequel to Willow, which is set years after, so Laura Dannon grows up, becomes the queen, things go fucking fuckwise.
Yeah, and I think the actor playing Willow actually reprises for his role.
Is he? Warwick's coming back.
Yes.
Fucking Wicket. Dance for me, you Ewok cat.
Yeah, that's... No, the trouble with CGI, Lord of Uzurk, is at the time they are used, they look state-of-the-art and they look good. But 10 years down the line, effects will have evolved so rapidly that they look dated. You
don't even need to go 10 years down the line.
Go back and look the series Babylon 5. It's a great series.
It's amazing.
The CGI is total bollocks.
Great CGI. All good. Don't go back 10 years ago. Go back and look at the face replacement they've done on Rogue One for Leia and Tarkin. And even the face replacement they did for Luke in The Mandalorian. Spoilers, by the way, if you haven't seen that. They're all garbage.
Yeah,
they are hot garbage.
Those are more or less because they're lazy.
No. Because when somebody's spending 100 million on a movie, that's not lazy. That's just that was the capability of the technology at the time for face replacement. And I know people have gone, oh look, I've done deep fakes of Peter Cushing as on the actor who played Tarkin now, and it looks so much more realistic. And you're going, yeah, it's like 3 years or 4 years later. And yes, the advances in technology for that in such a small amount of time is fucking outstanding. Luke Skywalker's face looks superimposed in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, and
they would have been better just going, Winter Soldier, have you any lines in this scene? No. Come here. Put a fucking wig on him.
Yeah,
You say this.
there was a fan remake from the Leia scene from Rogue One, just half a year after the movie has released, and that looked so much better. They could have made it better. They simply didn't care at that point.
I don't think they could have. Because I think at that stage, that was the best face mapping technology available in the world at that stage. And bear in mind, it wouldn't have been half a year. It probably would have been more like 12 months, maybe a bit longer, when they were doing the effects work on it. Because deepfake, I mean, Sassy Justice is amazing. Sassy Justice wouldn't have been possible a year or so ago.
That escapes me. I don't know what that is, actually.
That is the guys from South Park and Darth Maul's voice, being a investigative journalist that uses Donald Trump's face on this guy who's Sassy Justice. It's got fuck all to do with Donald Trump. It's just Sassy Justice doing investigative reporting. It's amazing. Oliver Reed. But then, and again, I don't think Oliver Reed wasn't CGI'd. They did the same they did with Brandon Lee and the Crow, where they digitally mapped him out of previous scenes or other stuff they'd filmed and superimposed it on so it wasn't like they were reskinning another actor. They were taking footage of Oliver Reed and putting it into another area.
Or do you remember that commercial of, what was it? I think a car commercial with the actor, what's his face? Oh, bloody hell. Famous 60s racing.
Sterling Moss?
No, not racer, but a racing actor. Also played the weird baseball bat throwing loony in the in the prisoner of war camp, The Great Escape.
Steve McQueen.
Steve McQueen, yes. Bloody hell, my names. They did a interesting thing 20 odd years ago with that car commercial on him, which at the time was stunning. Looks bad by today's standards.
Cut and paste for the win.
Yeah. Though they really made... I remember at that point there was a discussion sparking, well, if we will be ever able to 100% replicate old actors, do we ever need new ones? Or can we use
that's what I was saying.
At infinity?
They need to get people like James Earl Jones in and just start getting him to make fucking sounds.
Yes.
Just do that over and over, and then have the fucker stored digitally somewhere. Should have did it with Christopher Lee.
Oh yes.
Such a distinctive voice, but they didn't. But it's interesting because it comes down then to the executors of the state as to whether or not they'll allow. So they actually had to go to Peter Cushing's family and go, we'd like to put him in this film. So actors' likenesses are held by people, depending on who holds the rights. Potentially, yes, we could have infinite bastards all the time. Or you might get some actors where their films become very rare because their family goes, no, we don't want every bastard with an Amiga spitting out a film with them in it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that will be interesting in the future. Maybe we can use the technology to make interesting miniatures.
I can't see it somehow.
Face accurate images. I wonder how much that would lead to a price increase.
Wonder how David Bowie's crotch being digitally scanned in from the labyrinth to be 100% bulgy accurate. Leads to an increase in price for that.
And thinking that they only had a 2D image to work from.
Justin did.
Didn't he have a
Archon, I think it was, scanned his head, made a set of heads for him.
I think I need to reiterate on my thoughts on 3D scanning. Maybe get myself a 3D scanner and then do a face swap on some marine figures and get my likeness on it.
I don't think Hollywood contracts will have that, Lorna, that they own the face and voice, because actors' image rights are part and parcel as to who they are, so that's tied to them more than anything else, which is why when anybody tries to do licensed products, they run into difficulties with image replication. So I think it'll just be a case that you may get, but now the technology has hit the point where facial and voice reconstruction is possible, that they could be resurrected, that is something that the executors and the families will now have more control over, where they just go, before we were just going, do you want to buy an 8x10 glossy of my dead dad? And now they go, you know what, fuck this, we could make a bit more money than selling 20 of these at a convention to nerds.
We can make a short gif, the dead actor waving at the camera, smiling.
Yeah. Or, you know, push comes to shove, Pornhub.
Ooh.
Who wouldn't want to see Grand Moff Tarkin tackling Rey? Ah. Maybe doing Leia.
Deep fuck fakes.
Yeah.
Oh god, this is... we're hitting that point of the show. Jerry has restrained himself to coffee, and we're going on.
It's not coffee.
Shh, don't tell him.
Look like very well wanted. Some of us have, you know.
There is a book in the Star Wars universe that isn't official for a long time, but it came out just after the original movie, and I think it's called Skywalker's Return, or Return of Skywalker. And because it's the first book after Star Wars and before Empire Strikes Back, nobody knows who his sister is, and there are let's say weird thoughts of him having towards Leia.
Wow. Well, you know, he was 18, first time off Tatooine, of course.
Yeah, and then he meets a princess who doesn't wear underwear. Because George Lucas told her so. In space, nobody wears bras.
Just tape those down. They'll be fine.
There were no tapes there.
Tesco's has started rationing.
What?
Sorry. Just popped up. Oh, Brexit's going to be a delight.
Christmas is cancelled.
Well, not for me.
It's just postponed.
Oh, Chewie, the original furry fandom. Oh, my Christ. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. So, yeah. Anything particularly sticking out at you for next year? Or are you just holding fast and hoping that Atomic Mass Games don't screw the pooch with Legion?
I was just about to say, I'm genuinely a bit scared and a bit excited and curious on what they will do with the IP and how they will tackle everything. And I would wish for them to open a forum since FFG is closing down.
That'd be interesting.
That would make a lot of sense because for some reason I have the feeling that miniature wargamers are the last big use base of forums. Because the only forums I see nowadays that are active in any way, shape, or form are either technology based, so computers and games, or miniature wargaming. Everything else has gone to shit, or to Facebook, which is basically the same.
It's interesting. The Lando and Callus figures, apparently they were the first that they were working on as atomic mass. So the flaw cards and stuff like that is possibly a sign of things to come.
Yeah, those really took me by surprise, and I still haven't got my head around on how that is going to work.
I think it's just a case of if you're bringing this character, then your opponent gets that card to play. So essentially a bonus command card for you. You bring somebody who's rock hard, and then they have this. So whether they're a bit they're a bit geezers, or like Creepio, who's all about tearing human skin off. It opens up. They're not as restricted into you've only got command cards and upgrade cards. Like it broadens the base what they can do with things, which could be interesting.
Yeah, on the subject of Star Wars Legion, I heard a podcast. I think it was from Warlord. I don't remember exactly, and they interviewed someone, and he said, "Well, I really loved Legion from the beginning, but it's getting competitive, and I start to lose interest." And I can see where he's going because it's getting complicated, rules-wise. Because they start to add, or at least the last times FFG has released new stuff, they added stuff on top of new stuff, and feels a bit like X-Wing.
It's the problem with point systems.
Yeah.
Chuck those out. Come up with scenarios. Have fun.
Yeah, that's basically the
easiest
thing to do.
But most of them, I mean, the majority of the market seem to be players who play competitively. If you look at how a lot of the here are the cards you need for this unit, blah blah blah. Things like Tabletop Admiral.
Yeah.
Being able to go in and go, even the points adjustments, shit like that. It's all competitive based. It's all about balance rather than fun narrative gaming. Yeah. So you just have to live with that.
I can see why most companies go for the tournament play, because those really drive sales. But at the same time, the casual player is the one that is usually the what do you call people who are really excited about things and tell everybody about
fans.
Them. No, not fans. There's
fans. Not cans. Fans.
Advocates.
Yeah, sure. Fan advocates.
Those who are really into it and can't stop showing their friends the stuff they just bought and how happy they are with the system. But those are, I think, even almost as important as sales, because without people having passion for your product, where's the point? No, Panzer, not fanboys. Fanboys are toxic. Fanboys are the exact opposite, in my opinion.
Microsoft uses the word evangelists.
Yes, they do.
Do they?
Yes.
Wow.
They use
it's funny.
Weird terms. It's a tech company. What do you expect?
A couple of my friends have been talking about using bolt action as the basis for Star Wars and just playing Star Wars using bolt action on the tabletop. I would think conflict would work better because then you can add in shit like walkers and you can add in creatures and monsters and that sort of thing, but it works on the bolt action system. So you can tweak it, but it's very simple. You lose a lot of this unit with this unit has this synergy, and I need this upgrade, this upgrade, this upgrade, and this command card to make it fucking game winning.
Yeah, but I
But
don't
so it
really
changes
want
up.
that in the game. Because
So
that makes it too complicated.
Yeah, it changes up how it plays. It becomes a much simpler system. It's interesting.
And I think we had this, I don't know if we had talked about it or if I talked about it with Ralph. I really would like a mass battle game on Star Wars.
Yeah.
On a smaller scale, or something like even.
I think we talked about it in the XLBS last week.
More
I was talking about just
version of Legion.
15 mil the fucker or 10 mil it, and then just have like TIE crawlers and massive battalions of stormtroopers getting mullered. All of that.
Yeah, I think that was the one time where Ralph jumped in on a short notice for the show, and we talked about more different Star Warsy things.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get.
And with
because every time you turn around, Disney are either retconning things or digging stuff out that they said was part of Legends and therefore not canon anymore, and all of a sudden it gets vomited forth onto the screen in a Mandalorian style. So you just don't know what's going to happen, and as such, you don't know what the companies can produce because it's just so arse about face. I have the D6 Star Wars miniatures game up there, which is great fun, but complicated. It was a lot mechanically complicated compared to Star Wars. It doesn't have as many footery, weird, this rule with this rule and this card changes this rule and this blah blah blah. Once you actually learn the game, you're fine, but it's the learning the game part. It's not just move this man and everybody else bobs around him.
I was thinking about something like, what's that company called again? WDS did a game called Battle of Hoth, which was a very simple board game where one side was obviously the Empire, one side was Rebels. The Empire had AT-ATs and AT-STs at its disposition, and the Rebel side had, I think, snowspeeders and troops. And there was a hex map where you have on the one end the Rebel base, and on the other hand is the landing zone of the Imperium. It was quite simple, and I loved it to bits. Had no miniatures in it, but cardboard standees, but well, that's 30 years ago.
It's neither here nor there. I've seen somebody painting up I think there were 6 mil droids recently from some 3D printing type people. So I mean, you can get smaller scale stuff if you want to get it. It's just finding a system that works.
Yeah. Or even Star Wars Pocket Model back in the day was.
Oh, Star Wars Pocket Models. Fucking amazing.
Yes. That's if Wizard hadn't gone down under with and belly up at that point, I would have gone broke on that stuff. I was buying packs like there's no tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
It's the way to do it. It's amazing.
And is there anything you're looking for next year, aside more Westphalia?
Don't know. Currently, I'm contemplating not buying anything next year.
Is that some weird early New Year's resolution?
No, I'm looking at what I've got to do. This year, I had the potential to paint quite a lot. I haven't. And I'm looking at going, well, is there any point in me adding more to this? Or should I just start going, well, fuck it, let's start painting some stuff, maybe even selling some stuff. So miniatures-wise, no. Although chances are anything that Westphalian borrows to, I will buy anyway because I'm a whore. A slag, filthy, filthy boy. Game-wise, Billion Suns. Talked about that. I do want to see a Billion Suns.
Yeah, that's
just
a game system that I think I'll need to have a read on the rules before I make any judgment. Because the basic principle of the game I find very intriguing, like some of the others generic space battle-y games that are out there, but most of them somehow manage to turn me off the instant I start reading the rules.
There we go. A billion. In my test copy, please, computer.
Well, Fugu buying doesn't count as miniature buying, Panzer put. That's terrain, so Jerry's good on that.
Yep, yeah, we're fine. We're all fine here.
And let's face it, even if you wouldn't buy any more miniatures simply by the amount of test models you're getting shipped to your home currently, will keep you occupied for the next decade or so.
Well, he has to make me a Brock, fairly certain by law. He has to make a Brock now. Fugu. Dun, 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 dun. Interstellar Fleet Battles. Gamma version. Blah, blah, blah. 2 to 4 players, blah, blah, blah. Don't care, don't care, don't care. Galaxy, blah, blah, blah. CEO. Ooh. Blah, blah, blah. Play area, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because here's the thing. For your fleet games, you have a command phase where you sort of allocate resources to your command ship, and then you have a jump phase where shit arrives. So it's kind of not just a all the ships on the table idea going on.
So you got jump points where ships come in, more or less.
Yeah, and it's one of the things you actually have to go out there and get your hands on something to work as a jump gate or jump point. Jump gate, very Babylon 5. But ship class-wise, they go from wings of recon fighters and bombers up to massive battleships, and your games can be from a handful of ships per side to massive fleets. So there's some interesting things going on. You will require D6, D8, D10, D12. A Billion Sun does not use D4. They are gross. He doesn't mean large there. He means not nice.
Well, I thought as much.
So it'll be interesting. The highest face value is a dud. Lower is always better. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Like I say, hopefully I'll get a chance to break out my Narn fleet with the lovely dazzle pattern camo.
When
rock the Jatok.
When news came out that the author of Gaslands would do a space battle game, I was a bit envious of all people who got into Gaslands from the very start, because I think those people had the most from it. I loved watching people converting their old Matchbox cards.
Yeah, it was amazing. This is going to be very different. How streamlined is it compared to BFG? That's a weird one, because BFG is very streamlined. It's just shit.
Which goes to show even streamlined rules can be very bad.
But what Battlefield Gothic was, they took the Titan rules from, I want to say, 3rd edition Epic, and just put Titans in space. And that was it. They went, here's the Titan rules, and now we put it in space. And here's how you move in space. And here's the Eldar fleet that ignore that. And the Tirana fleet that ignore that. Good luck beating either of those fleets. Everybody should play Eldar now.
I only remember the demo rules in the White Dwarf with the cardboard cutouts. So here we have a new game in progress. Here's a beta rule you can try at home.
Well, I need to play some more games to see how it pans out, especially the larger size. But scale-wise, ranges are much smaller for targeting and doing effective fire. Whereas potentially in things like Gothic, you could fire across a 6x4. Whereas I think the biggest sort of thing is missiles are 36 inches. Most weapons are much closer. You need to be up close and personal to do damage. So no beaming the shit out of people from half the board away. So, but I'll see. Because I mean, Drop Fleet was interesting, although I never got around to playing Drop Fleet. I just bought a fuckload of it, just never played it. And the idea behind it was the weapons all had infinite range, but it was spotting what your target was doing was the important thing. So it was all based off energy signatures and silhouettes, like sonar in space, essentially. So once somebody did enough that you could spot them, chances are you would beam the shit out of them. But yeah, I have high hopes. I'll find out. I'll play more.
We will see. And the one term you just used is, I think, that's the main part I'm looking forward for. Playing more games. Actually being able to play again with other people.
Yeah, I remember them. We were planning on playing Clash of Spears. Steve mentioned it early on there, ClashCon, where I had essentially planned on taking over the visitor center at Base of War one Saturday. It was just like, fuck it. There's 6 tables? Can't remember. 6 tables, say. And I'd planned on taking, I think, 5 of them to play Clash of Spears. And then somebody had a bat and it all went fucking sideways.
Yeah.
So
maybe the vegans are right on something. Don't eat bats.
Doesn't sound right. They only eat plants because they like to hear them scream. Vegans are evil. Evil vegans.
Well, I think we can wrap this half hour up here at this point.
Yep.
I say to you, audience, listening, watching later on YouTube, thank you for being here for the last 39 episodes. No, 40. We're 40.
40. It said 40 on the screen.
40, yes.
You should be paying attention.
I never pay attention to myself or anybody else. That's my biggest problem.
It's the best way. Paid attention one.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I thank you for having fun with us. And we will probably take next Tuesday off because time management issues on my side. I won't be making it very probably. So, next year, stay safe, people. Stay inside. Because
remain indoors.
Remain indoors.
I'm not allowed out until February.
Well, we are on lockdown until the 11th of January for the time being. Well, and that's only because the law forbids them to go further than 4 weeks in advance.
Right. So, lucky bastards.
Anytime in the next 2 weeks we could have an additional lockdown.
Lucky bastards.
Yes.
6 weeks. 6 weeks comes in on Christmas Day.
Your what do you call the head of country?
Can't. Arlene
Yes.
Foster, face on her like a slapped arse.
age is showing its age and the date of time, and I'm losing track of speech. Ah, bloody hell.
Just
Government.
use German.
Simple word. Your government is really showing how much of a pain in the ass they can be.
Which one? We've two. They're both balls.
Both. Oh no. Automod says Panzer kaputt can't say cunt. I'll allow it. Cunts! Yeah, with that, frohe Weihnachten. Kommt gut rein. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Bye.
Hon a nullig ditch.